What's up, everyone? This is Martin Mentzoni. I'm from Haugesund, Norway. I'm a skateboarder, comic book artist, musician. I'm everything. And I'm so happy to be here at the Shit podcast. And I really hope you want to hear all the crazy stories and find some inspiration in all the things that I do. And yeah, enjoy. And remember, skate and scream, follow your dream.
For sure. What's up, guys? Welcome to the Shit podcast. We are about to have a nice skate conversation with this special guest right here. He's Martin Mentzoni. He's an artist, he's a musician, and of course, he's also a skateboarder. What's up, Martin? How is it going for you?
Dude, it's going very good, my friend. I have my cup of coffee.
Oh, that's nice.
I even have this. I don't know if it's just like sparkling water.
Is that water?
Yeah, it's water
it's
in
like a beer.
Yeah,
Right.
but I don't drink.
Oh, okay.
So it's my favorite like brand of water, like sparkly water.
Okay.
And I've made this cozy thing designed for Turbojugend in Stavanger.
Oh, that's nice.
So we have it like.
Oh, yeah. So you drink coffee and water at the same time?
Yeah, because then every time you drink coffee, if you have some water, then you cleanse your mouth from all the like old coffee, and then every time it's fresh.
Okay, so cheers with the coffee, huh?
And if you didn't know, I make a fanzine that's called This Means Coffee.
Coffee fanzine, all right.
Yeah.
So the name is because of the coffee.
And or because if wherever you travel in the world before the pandemic, then it's very cool that even if you visit like a tribe people in the middle of the rainforest or go to Italy amongst like high-end fashion people, they will always ask you, do you want a cup of coffee? And that's an invitation to be social with somebody, because the definition of being social in the dictionary is you and me if we have a conversation face to face, physically.
Yes.
So the magazine that I make is a physical. It's like, this is one of my releases, my latest copy of magazine.
Nice.
And it's not digital, you understand? It's like a sense of energy. So I call it energy. And this energy can either be destructive or constructive.
Okay.
The self-harming, it was just an evil circle, getting more and more depressed. And eventually you will end up killing yourself because it gets too much. But when I stopped doing the self-harm, then I had so much need to get out this energy that I transferred that to skateboarding.
All right.
So skateboarding, like not even in a symbolic way, but skateboarding literally saved my life, because at the age of 16, wanting to just destroy everything, and myself included, then I would put all this energy into the skateboarding, and I would find like the highest roof I could find, the biggest gap. I really liked the zero way of skating, like zero skateboards, Jamie Thomas style, like just chucking yourself. And I never really cared about like technical skating, because it was fucking frustrating. Like I don't have time for that shit.
I know.
I only 10 tricks and do them fast and longer, and just fast and hard. So skateboarding became my expression of, and it's a good way of self-harm, because you chuck yourself down the roof, you get destroyed, and you try, and then when you eventually land that trick and your homies high five, then you get a good feeling of self-harming, if you can call it that.
I know what you mean, and that's true. Skateboarding can save lives. So officially, skateboarding saved your life in the past.
You can quote me on that.
After that, you start being an artist. After you started being a skater. Yeah.
Wrong.
Wrong.
Since the first time I picked up, if it was my own shit as a baby or if it was a pencil, I always been really drawn to drawing. And as I mentioned earlier, a little bit, I always had this intense anxiety, like really like fragile and a little bit worried about everything happening around. But when I draw as a kid, kindergarten, school, etc., when I sit and draw and listen to music, then I space out. It's like meditation. I forget everything. But skateboarding has the same kind of effect as drawing. But drawing I can do wherever I want, whenever I want. But skateboarding is the same, but it's more, it's like a violent form of meditation, as I call it. Because when I skate, energy, it's speed, and you slam and you get up and you're stoked and you use your body. And that's really important to get like the fucking adrenaline and the good vibes in the brain. While drawing can actually sometimes make me more depressed because I get so into the darkness when I draw. So primitive skating has always been my go-to when it comes to skating. I can watch, for example, Nigel Houston, amazing skater. I get impressed by watching his parts, but they give me nothing. They give me absolutely nothing. I don't get inspired to go out skating. I rather go out and I look at a 20-stair rail and I think, I could not do anything on that. So when I see skaters that have a good vibe coming out, like Friendship Skateboards, those guys, when they videos, the best videos, like skating fucking small curbs and doing just goofy tricks, that inspires me more to go out and have fun rather than, oh, look at me, I'm so impressive. But that's his way and their way of skating, and all skateboarding is cool in one way or another.
Yes, for sure. Everybody feels skateboarding in a different way. So this is your way, a unique way, and that's nice. So what is your favorite skater, for example? The skater that gives you inspiration to go skate?
Oh my God, there's so many people that I love, but the first skateboarder in my life that I saw and became like a fan of was Steve Olsen from Shorty's Fulfill the Dream.
Okay, I know who is he.
I still have it on VHS cassette when I got it as a kid. The reason why he appealed so much to me is because he was jumping off like rooftops and doing all these crazy tricks. And he had a really like big hair, big glasses, a little bit like nerdy, not the cool guy at all, and just weird. Like he was like all over the place and being funny and not taking everything so goddamn serious. And that appealed to me a lot. But the skaters that definitely inspired me and made me feel less alone in the skateboarding world, which is kind of small when you think of how big the world is. But it's Ali Bolala, Jim Greco, Bam Margera. Loved him, of course, because he has the entertainer part that I love. But Jim Greco and Ali Bolala, because of their like image with the tight pants and the leather jackets and the whole fuck you attitude to skating, like, oh, you don't like my skating? Well, fuck you, I don't care. This is my art, this is my expression, and I am gonna skate and do whatever the fuck I want. If sponsors are gonna drop me for the skating and the things I do, fuck them. Because you don't need any sponsors, you don't need anyone to go out and skate. That's the beauty of skateboarding.
That's nice. That's nice. I really love what you are saying. So what do you think? What is your approach to skateboarding? Just to have fun? Your main approach?
Main approach. It's so lame to say it because it's not even original. But the only reason, like the main thing with skateboarding, is to have fun. Like there is no deeper meaning. Like to me, skateboarding is on such a high spiritual level because it gives me so much. I can have the worst day of my life and I go skate, especially with the homies. And if you have a good session, especially when you become, again, not trying to sound like a fucking yoga teacher, but when you become one with the skateboard, your skateboard actually, you think, okay, I want to do a nose grind on this rail. And you do it without even being like a little bit insecure. You just do it because you know you have it, and when you land it, it's like a confirmation of your confidence, and that boosts your confidence. And then you try another trick, maybe a little bit harder. You try to do flip in, flip out tricks on stuff you would never do, and you land it. The best feeling in the world is when I feel one with the board, when it's like it's obeying me like my slave.
Yes, that's nice. But for that we need technique sometimes for feeling good. So what is your advice to deal with the fear when it comes to skating, when it comes to skate big things with our skateboards?
The best thing for me in my case is I used to slash myself with broken glass and razor blades. So I voluntarily go into painful situations. So when I stopped doing that, I kind of had this extreme, because I am a masochist when it all comes to all. And you have to be a masochist if you skateboard. Like all skaters in some weird, strange way like pain, because it's a confirmation that you are not giving up. You are really trying to achieve something. And the pain is worth it when it comes to the landing the trick, the feeling you get of conquering something. And that's
sure, dude.
Skateboarding is so fascinating to me. When I see kids at the park, and it doesn't matter if you're gonna stand on a skateboard for the first time or if you're gonna do like the most technical trick down this massive rail, it's the same feeling. It's just different levels of skills. I hate fucking focusing on skills and how good you are and all that shit, because it doesn't really matter. Because if you're the world's best skater, like example, Nigel Houston's an easy example to use. He's so fucking insane on his board. But imagine if he didn't love skateboarding, if he didn't like skateboarding, if he didn't care about landing those tricks, then what the fuck is the use of all that talent if you're not enjoying yourself?
For sure.
So I do these events that I call Mentzoni skate parties, like clubs, youth clubs or whatever, they book me in to do these skate events for kids. And I focus mainly on kids and young youth, but all are welcome, but mostly like for kids. And then the first thing I actually say is like the whole concept is just for you to have fun. And I'm going to show you ways of having fun on a skateboard and learn new techniques. And I hope that my attitude, my more like punk rock approach to skateboarding can inspire them to not worry so much if they're not as good as their friend or as the older guys at the park. Just rather look at them and get inspired, like, oh, I want to do that trick one day. Don't think like, oh, I suck, I can't do anything, I'm so bad, I should quit today. Because it doesn't matter. Everybody had to start with that fucking ollie, which is a torture to learn the first time.
Yes, and it's frustrating at the beginning, watching all these guys skating so well, and we maybe know. So it's difficult. It's hard.
Yeah.
So,
and the kids me all the time, like, what do I have to do to get sponsored? And then I ask them, or I don't even ask them, I just answer them. If your only goal with skateboarding is to get sponsored, my best advice for you, my friend, is to quit skateboarding today. Because there's no reason for you to skate if that's your only goal. Because you are going to get sponsored one day or another if you continue to train and do good and have a good attitude, which lack in most spoiled little shit kids these days. So what when you get sponsored? Then it's over. Like, what the fuck's next then? Oh, you're sponsored, great, now you can just quit. Because skateboarding is not about being sponsored. Being sponsored is about people that like your approach to skateboarding, and they think in the business way that you could be a good ambassador for their brand because you have the same mindset and attitude.
Yes, man, that's true. But there is a point when we want to live from this. We want to make a living from skateboarding. So maybe that's the reason why we want sponsored. But if that's the only approach, I agree with you. Why don't we quit skateboarding?
Yeah, with over 20 years of experience on a skateboard and being sponsored. So I started skating when I was 13 and I got sponsored at age 15, which is pretty amazing considering I lived without YouTube, Facebook, anything of that didn't exist when I started skating. It was all word by mouth in the local skate scene. And what really triggered my career in skateboarding, making me actually do skateboarding for a living now as a professional, which is fucking mind-blowing, because it never it occurred to me that I would ever be able to make money from skateboarding whatsoever. But I didn't care, because here comes the darkness again. I was gonna kill myself before I was 20 anyway, so why would I care about making money when I'm not even planning on being alive then? And the fatal call that happened was when Frode Goa, when he started, I think maybe before he even started shit, he was making Skate Stavanger, this very old video, and he called like cities around Stavanger, and Haugesund had a skate shop called Gaffel, which means fork.
All right.
Weird.
Yes.
But, I mean, they had like the Snickers logo and everything. And he called the shop, and do you have any local skaters that are like you could recommend for the skate video I'm making? Because he wanted some out of town skaters as well. And me and my two friends Stian and Vidar, SVM crew for life, we were recommended to be one of those local skaters from Haugesund coming to Stavanger. And I got to meet Frode at a very young age, and we got 2 hours to film, and I used 45 minutes doing a 50-50 kickflip, which is to this day the best 50-50 kickflip, like top 3 I've ever did.
Okay.
And it's my Skate Stavanger part, link below. And I don't think it's digitalized yet, but the thing is, that was the first time I met Frode Goa with skateboarding, and eventually I started coming more and more to Stavanger skating. And I just had my first love at age 17. This is why I remember getting sponsored by shit, because I got dumped by my like first like intense true love, crying my eyes out, and I just couldn't deal being Haugesund. So I went over to Stavanger, and I was skating with Frode Goa, and the guys were shooting some photos and stuff, because I think he had me on his radar, but I didn't know. But he was just, hey, you want to join and do some photos and shit and film? And then he asked me in the middle of everything, like, would you be interested in riding for a shit skateboard company, this company I'm starting up now? And I was so depressed and heartbroken, I didn't even care at all. So my response was like, yeah, sure. Like, I was not even like, yeah, fuck yeah, sponsored, finally. Because I was so fucking sad because of me being dumped. But that gave me a goal of, like, it gave me a purpose with skating.
A purpose, all right.
Because now, if somebody believes in me and wants to invest their time and money in me, then you can be damn sure that I'm gonna do 666% my utterly best to show them that I am not a waste of time, that I actually want to contribute and show that I'm dedicated to what they are offering me.
All right, I understand. I really believe you.
And at that time, I hadn't been drinking alcohol for 2 years, because I wanted to try harder drugs like cocaine, speed, and stuff like that, because I hated the taste of alcohol. But skateboarding, again, because when I got sponsored by the local shop here, Gaffel, then I also, it was just 30% off the shop. It was not like, I got nothing for free. I had to pay for everything. But just getting 30% made me want to focus more on skating. And me being the destructive personality that I am, I wanted to focus more on skating. So I stopped going to parties because I wanted to go skate a bench alone for 10 hours at night instead of partying. And I had been drinking for 2 years without thinking about it because I was so focused on skating. So when I started skating for shit and we started doing like demos and filming, I realized that, oh my God, I haven't been drinking, but I don't need it because I'm having so much fun doing this. And I want to be clear in my head when I go out skating. I don't want to be hungover if we go on tour. And when we do a demo the next day, I feel it's disrespectful to your sponsor that are paying for your fucking trip and promoting you. If you're gonna be the cool skater, like, oh, I'm so hungover, I was so drunk at the party with all the cool people yesterday. Yeah. I hate that
just
image.
Being a rock star, all right.
Fuck that shit. I hate it so much that I hate that with a passion. So people that are slacking or not showing their dedication to people that are giving so much of their time. Fuck it. Just doesn't matter how fucking cool they are.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man, that's true. So when was that? When Shit Skateboard Company sponsored you back in the days? What year?
I'm 35 now, and I was 17 at the time. Me and math, I flunked school. No idea. 85. Born in 85.
But were you like 2005?
Yeah, around that.
Were you one of the first riders for Shit
Yes.
Skateboard Company?
One of from the original team that Shit Skateboard like eventually ended up with. I was one of those. So I'm to this day extremely proud of being like one of the OGs from Shit.
And how was the team at that moment?
It was me, Fredrik Nalland. It's so embarrassing. I always forget one of the guys' names. Anders or something. And Kim Ottomo, Joachim Bjelland. That was the main. I'm gonna slap myself in the face if I forget somebody. Oh, Gustav Tønnesen, of course. I designed one of his boards. And then eventually add-ons came, but that was like the original setup of the team that was traveling. I'm still very, very proud that to this day, I was the last of the original members to leave Shit. I was there when the ship was starting to sink, and I was still standing on the fucking ship, and then it sunk. I was still standing on it, but then I found out that this is actually going nowhere. The last tour we did was the most depressing tour ever.
Why was that?
It was a really. We were gonna ride in this what's it called? Caravan? No, like car with a fucking camping wagon on it. Yeah, we were gonna tour with that. Very small trip, but just to get some new footage and stuff. And then we had lost so many of the original members. It was only me from the original gang, and one of the riders who was really good. He was offered to join the tour, but he didn't want to drive the long distance from A to B that we were going to drive, because we were going to film in between all the spots, like find cool spots. But he was so rock star that he asked that, can I smoke weed on the tour? And Frode said, no smoking of weed. We're trying to keep like no partying. And that's, for me, that's very understandable, because you're doing a job as well as we're doing having. It's a job. And not that his weed smoking was interfering with his skating or anything, but very strict on that, like no drugs or shit or weed on the tour. Because in my opinion, drugs and weed are two different things, but I hate both of them.
All right.
But he was even offered, we can fly you up to the finishing part where we meet, and you can film there, and you can drive back or fly back. But just because he couldn't smoke fucking weed on that trip, he said no. So basically, it was a trip with me, another team rider that also got dumped by his first big love, older guy. So he was a wreck, and he was hurt, so he couldn't skate. And the filmer, also the driver, it was just me and him. The other guy was just sulking, heartbroken around and he shouldn't be on that tour at all. Just sad. And then it was just basically a one-man tour with me and
I understand.
The team was dead. There was not that's when I realized, okay, Shit is officially dead. Like Shit part 1.0 is over. Like this is.
And when was that? What year?
It was in what was it? I was bald at the time. What year it is? It was when I quit. I had skated for Shit for 11 years.
Oh, very loyal to the team.
Yeah, of course. And what I regret to this day, when I got sponsored by Shit, I gave away all my other skateboarding clothes, because I wanted to show my that I was dedicated just to them. So my way of showing that I really meant what I was saying, I gave my Zero toy machine, drawers clothing before it became DC, all of that I gave away, luckily to friends though, not to strangers, but to close friends. So they are wearing my old skate clothes to this day, and they know how much I hate it, because I'm trying to buy them back. I even offered the Zero hoodie that I still really miss, and the toy machine and shorties. I asked my best friend, like, can I buy it from you for 10 times the price? Because it was mine when I was a kid and I really want it. He's like, no. Oh, fuck.
Oh, shit.
But it's getting used, and that's the most important part, though. But leaving shit at that time was really sad because I've been skating, as I said, 11 years for shit. And I was used to getting a mail like, this is the tour next month, be at the Stavanger airport, and we'll go to Italy for 2 weeks. So nice. I was so used to doing these demos and shows and tours that when I quit my sponsor, I was basically just sitting next to my phone, waiting for a call like, hey, we want to book you for a skate show. Can you come there, blah, blah, blah. So when the phone calls didn't come, I just picked up the phone myself and called the local youth club that I knew had some skating. And I said, do you want to book a skate show? And he's like, yeah, with you and your team? No, just me. I can make like a contest for the kids or something and do a demo, like 10 minutes warm up with the locals. So I would pick out like the local skaters that I knew could like team up with me, so I wouldn't be skating alone, even though I've done that as well, which is kind of brutal because it's like 10 minutes every skater knows this, like from contests when it's like, I don't know, 1 minute of skating and you're dead afterwards because it's like constant skating. But I would do one-man shows. I did a tour, done several tours, but the first tour I did completely alone, doing one-man demos like Mike Vallely style, and that was exhausting. But I found out that why haven't I done this before? It's like a band back in the grunge days. Like, you don't need a fucking record label to go out on a tour. You just DIY, do it yourself. And I have that punk rock attitude from making the coffee fanzines and comics, self-publishing music. Don't need a fucking record label, just publish it yourself, press up your own records. So I just took that attitude and started Mentzoni Skate Party, and I've been doing it since that.
All right, until now. Yeah. You're doing it.
Yeah.
Also this year.
Yeah. So it's comics and art goes hand in hand, but comics, art, music, and skateboarding. And I do like these spoken words, speeches, motivational speeches. So it's like the five things that circle.
Okay. And what about these motivational speakings? Where did you did this? Where did you do this?
I was asked like a long time ago when I did my first motivational speech. I don't know how it happened or anything. It was like confirmation. Do you guys have that?
Yes, like at 15 years old. Yeah.
And I was just asked if I wanted to contribute and just talk about like how it feels to be different and how to deal with stuff. And of course, with the whole self-harm thing, how you can stop self-harming and what advice I would give to the young kids, which are basically alone in struggling with this. And I survived, like literally survived self-harming because I was very close killing myself a lot of times because some of the cuts were too deep and I could have bled an infection, blah, blah, blah. And or it could develop into actually hanging yourself or just jumping from a fucking bridge. So motivational speeches, I would talk about my experiences and what I did to get out of it, focus on skateboarding and arts and music and how important it is. Even if it's fucking golfing, just have an outlet, just do something, just don't sit inside with your fucking thoughts.
All right.
Because that eventually that will kill you.
Yes.
That voice in your head. So that's what I speak about at motivational speeches. But I also have a very rich life. I've done a lot of weird and fun stuff. So if you wanted to book me in, you could say, could you talk more about skateboarding? Could you talk more about self-harm? Could you talk more about music? So I have a lot of topics to choose from depending on who books me in.
Yes, for sure. You have a lot of topics and a lot of a nice and unique perspective about life and every of those aspects and senses.
That's why it's so fun to not kill yourself, because you learn a lot of cool stuff when you continue living, and you're going to die anyway eventually. So why rush Like that's the best thing that you can think of. If you're having a bad day, just know deep in your mind that I'm gonna die one day, even if I want it or not. So why not try to do the best out of it? Even if you just want to sit and read books for the rest of your life, you can do that. You just have to find a way how to make just enough money to pay your rent and get them food and buy those books. Or you can rent them for free at the library. So what I mean is, why kill yourself? You don't even know. I don't believe in God or anything, but I would not want to put my cards on the table and bet that it's going to be better when I'm dead. Imagine if you come over there and it's like you work at a grocery store forever, or you have to sit at a school bench forever. Like that's my way of, that's hell for me.
I like it. I like it. So what do you think is the most important thing or aspect of having a sponsor? Like you say, okay, this is a nice sponsor for me.
The most important thing for me is their attitude, of course. Like best example, Nazi Skateboards wants to sponsor you, Martin. Do you want to be a part of Nazi Skateboards? Of course not. Okay. Because I don't want to support Nazis. So the most important part for me, for a sponsor, is that I can stand for what they believe in and represent, and that I feel that I have a part to play with that sponsor. That I can actually, because I am a creative person, and I love to be able to use that if it's in the designing of boards, clothes, and the whole, to be a part of the branding. If it's a well-established brand already, then at least I want to feel a part of it. So I'm not like this fucking wild card that's just thrown in there just to be randomly or interesting or whatever. But to be like artwork, of course, like if it's not to disrespect anything, but I love Bam Margera, and when he skated for Element, he was the only reason I cared about Element, because he was an interesting guy. So he's that wild card, because the Element graphics to me was fucking boring, like a fucking environment and all that shit. I don't really care. I know what you mean. Yeah, so image, and it's like a rock band. It's like a band. Yes. I was more into rock and roll than skateboarding. Music came before skateboarding. Comics and art came before skateboarding. But people like Fucking Awesome. Of course, when I'm gonna say something now, but Fucking Awesome with Jason Bill and Abe are definitely one of my favorites among the business now, because they are pouring out the fuck you, we don't really give a shit what you think attitude, which it appeals to me. They do whatever the fuck they want. They don't care if it sells, but they are already legends, so they can basically do whatever they want and it will sell, because they have like the cool stamp. Yeah, they are cool. But what I mean, if I started a brand today and I had no name at all out in the world, then it would be more difficult for me, of course, to sell a board with those kind of graphics. But I have this to make me feel like a rock star. Long story short, Amsterdam, Dam Am, the first year when I was attending, it was like 100 skaters and a qualification. And I came in there, and the first thing I see is a kid. I have no idea who he is. We're all amateur skaters. The first thing I see is this kid on this insane kicker ramps. Okay. And he does. Have you been to Amsterdam in the park? That's like up in the air.
I know what is. Yeah.
It's surrealistic. You take a ferry to an island. You come to the island. You go into this big industrial building, which doesn't look like a skate park facility at all. And there's literally a stairway to fucking skateboard heaven, like a big stairway up to the roof. I have no idea why, but it's, and you can see through the stairs. So on your way up, you can see how far down it is. All right. And when you come up, the whole skate park is there. But the first thing I see this kid doing is 360 flip, tail grab, like nothing.
Oh my god!
Like you would do ollie up a curb.
Yeah.
That's how easy.
First try, like nothing.
he was practicing his run, so that was like one of his like safe tricks. I'm like, Jesus Christ, if the level is down, I'm gonna be fucked on this contest. It's gonna be embarrassing. I don't even want him to say that I'm sponsored, because he doesn't have a fucking sponsor. And then as the show was gonna start, I asked the DJ. This became a longer story, but it's an important one. I asked the DJ Wade, who DJ Wade does for Volcom and Skate Park of Tampa, all the events. really cool guy, and still talking to him to this day, which is pretty cool. I asked him, hey, could you, when I skate, could you play some Stooges, like Iggy Pop and the Stooges? Because I hate skating to hip hop and slow music. I need energy, I need rock and roll.
Rock
and
and roll.
Yeah, Stooges, man. Like really, like stoked that I want Stooges. And Frode Goa from Shit, I asked him when he was gonna send in like my bio and photo of me for the portfolio that everybody sees at the Damn Man, Volcom Damn Man. I said, do not use that photo of me when I'm without a t-shirt, standing, flexing my muscles, because it's not the worst photo ever. And of course, I would have used that fucking photo just to be a fucking asshole.
No.
And as I'm skating in the contest, they even said like, hey, why don't you take off your t-shirt like we have you in the promo?
No.
But right before I started skating, I was so nervous because I was like, I fucking suck. I suck at being sponsored. I don't know how many times I've called from a tour, calling food and say, you know what, I quit. I don't deserve this. I suck. The other guys are so good, but I look so weird and I get all the attention because I'm the weirdo, but I don't deserve it. I'm a failure. Blah, blah, blah.
Okay, I understand.
So all these thoughts are going through my head right before the contest. I almost vomit because I'm so nervous, like I'm ready to do my show. Because skateboarding for me, when I do contest, it's like a rock show. It's entertainment. It's more important that you find. It's more important for me that you found my skateboarding entertaining, even if it's shocking or funny. But I don't really care impressive in skate wise. I just want you to like, oh fuck, this is funny to watch. So I would skate, do my tricks, blah blah blah, and I would take off my t-shirt and the DJ would put Slayer on because of my long black hair. And they call me Euromanson. So if you Google Euromanson and Damn Am, you will see photos of me from the contest. And then after skating, I tried to do a nose grind over the longest curve at the park. And they only did like tricks on, pop off halfway, or just 50-50 all over it. But nobody did another trick than 50.
Okay.
So nose go trick. I'm really good at nose grinds. So I had no t-shirt, tried a nose grind over the entire thing. I slammed, I got fucking wood splinters in my ribs, started bleeding. I slammed really bad because you have to have a lot of speed to do it. And the speaker, Brian Schaefer from Tampa Am, he said, we're gonna give you 3-4 extra minutes to land that fucking nose grind. We want to see that nose grind. I was like, fuck, it'll be my moment. I have to land it. Yeah. So I tried, and you know how it is when you're so tired and you go to the end, and right before you're gonna ride out, you just collapse.
Yes.
I would land and slam and stuff like that. And then I was standing on the corner getting some breath, and I pushed as a motherfucker, and he said, I'm so sorry, but we have to go on to the next. And then I landed it. As he was speaking, saying, we're sorry, we have to stop now.
The last time.
My board almost falling off, and I'm gonna land this motherfucker. And I landed, and the people all like stood up and like throw their beer in the air and scream like I fucking won the fucking contest. That's how it felt. And I was like so full of endorphins. I was like, yeah, oh, fuck, I rule. I was so happy. And they were like applause, high fives.
And without t-shirt in that moment. Yeah. Shooting. All right.
And this is the main reason behind the story, which inspired me from that day for the rest of my life.
Wow.
After the contest was over, I got like 70 place out of 100, which for me was, I thought I would get last, so I was fucking happy. I didn't qualify to go to the finals or anything, but after the contest, one of my favorite skaters in the world, the skateboarder before Jim Greco, before Ali Boulala, who kind of made me realize that there's so many other expressions in skateboarding, and especially rock and roll and like the freaks. And this skater, when I saw him in his part in Transworld Skateboarding in Bloom, he was there, Tony Trujillo and Jake Phelps and Trixie. They were playing with bad shit at the after party.
Oh, okay.
He came up to me and he said, and I quote, of all the 100 skaters that I saw today, you were my favorite skater because you were the only one out there that seemed to have any fun.
Oh, yeah, man.
He he just said everything that I want my skateboarding to represent in one sentence. Like he basically said it like the most perfect way you can say it, how I wish to be like represented in skateboarding. So I gave him a hug and I told him I'm a massive fan of him and how he inspired me, blah, 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 and all that. Because what I didn't tell you is earlier that day, I walked over to their table. They were staying at the same hotel. And Jake, rest in peace, TNT and Trixie were sitting there. And I knew Jake was going to say something like, because he was always rude, like he would test you to see if you're like a pussy or not. And I was sitting there with the other teammates from Norway and some other skaters. And then I said to them, hey, should we go over and say hello to Jake and TNT? Because I was like, I'm a huge fan. And Thrasher is the Bible for skaters. And they're like, no, we're just going to chill here with some beers. I'm like, and I was just sitting there. Like, I was not even a part of the conversation. I was just like the loner. So I'm like, okay, I'm just going to go walk over to Jake and say hello and say thank you for your contribution to skateboarding. And then I had latex pants, which I was wearing when I wasn't skating, like black latex pants and some fucking platform boots. And I had, I was pale in the face, like black metal painting. And I had no eyebrows, long black hair, and like a fishnet. So I didn't look like a skater at all, which I loved. So I walk over and I'm prepared that Jake is gonna throw some shit at me, like test me, because I did look like a freak. I did not look like a skater. And he came over. I have a YouTube video of this on my YouTube channel.
Okay.
But something like, what's up with the get up? Like, are you some kind of faggot or something? And I said, I only suck dick to piss off people like you. Something like that. Yeah, good comeback, kid. Good comeback. And then I just, I said to them, I just want to say, Tony, you inspired me from my skating, gave me confidence, and yeah, skating fast and primitive. And Jake, you fucking hero, blah, blah, blah. And they said, you want to sit down and hang out? And I got to know them. And I still, to this day, talk with TNT and Trixie. It's fucking insane because they're still my heroes.
For sure. Okay.
Saying that to me at the Damn Mam contest, to rewind back to this short story, when he said to me that I was his favorite, like his number one skater at the contest, that confirmed my attitude towards skateboarding, that it's all about having the best time you can on your skateboard. And getting that from the fucking godfather of rock and roll and skateboarding was to me a confirmation that, like, I don't need anybody else saying that I'm cool or anything. He said it, so I'm fucking fine. So if I can be that kind of inspiration to a small kid at the skate park, by just being nice, don't even have to like over exaggerate it or anything, but I like making the kids or skaters, grown-ups as well, feel safe when they're out skating, to make them feel included, because I know how much it fucking sucks to be like an outsider and feeling alone and weird. But all skaters are fucking weirdos. We're just weird in different ways. We go out and we try a fucking trick for 10 hours straight and curse and break our boards and break our fucking arms and legs, and we still keep doing it. So we have to be mentally challenged or stupid, because it's not sane to do what we do. And that's what makes skateboarding so fucking special. And if a brand or sponsor has any of these qualities in them that I find kind of goes hand in hand with my beliefs, then that's what I look for in a sponsor. Somebody that believes in me and allows me to be me and express myself the way I express myself, which I know for a fact is not for everyone, because I have a very extreme and a need to express myself. And if a sponsor doesn't like that, then fuck them. I don't need them. But to be able to not worry about your fucking budget in breaking boards, the touring part, the team is the most important. If I don't like, if fucking good example would be if Element asked me to be a part of their team, I would not feel at home, I think. And now I'm thinking more of the old Element. Like you need to be able to connect with the others.
For sure, that's true.
And that's what made shit so special back in the days, because I was the weirdo. Gustav Tønnesen was the quiet, shy guy. Fredrik Nalan was the fakey king and still is to this day, Ginger Boy. Tikabou E, if he's watching this. in
Okay.
turn. And Kim Ottamo was like the Bob Dylan of skateboarding, like a quiet, kind of cool guy, smoking, and just did like crazy fucking tricks. So we were all different kind of personalities, which was really appealed to me with shit. We all had our own way of expressing ourselves. We didn't have, not everyone was wearing leather jackets like the Ramones. We were like different. Shit could be anything you wanted it to be. So if you saw shit, you could, I like that weirdo Mentzoni with this fucking rock and roll attitude. Oh no, I love Kim Ottamo with his fucking chill style. Oh, I fucking think the ginger dude is fucking awesome. So you had all these personalities, like it's like the Spice Girls. I liked
Yes.
Posh the best.
Posh. And why is that?
Victoria Beckham.
All right.
She was like the sexiest, and she was a little bit like bitchy. Like
Okay.
people that are bitchy in real life suck, but she was like she wore more dark clothes than the others, and she also had a lot of stockings. And I used to skate and walk in dresses like a drag or a trans person. I don't know, like I never label myself. I just do whatever feels right as long as I don't hurt anyone.
Okay.
So to this day, like sometimes I just wear like women underwear and I walk around like why not? It's a celebration of life, to enjoy yourself, even if it's weird and strange, the better.
Okay. Okay. And talking about the team that you say that Shed was a very nice team back in the days, what do you think was the problem of Shed in that moment when you say like, okay, this Shed is dying right now? What do you think was the problem?
I know exactly what the problem is.
Oh,
Not all, but some team skaters were getting spoiled, and they were getting like these offers from others, and money became an issue. Because
okay.
I was happy with just touring. I didn't give a shit about money. Again, I was still depressed and still am, but just being able to travel and skate was good enough for me. I was living home with my mom because I was never home anyway. But when we started to learn stuff like royalties and stuff like that, like the business side, when that became more of a thing, because when Shit Skateboard Company opened the shop in Oslo, like the flag store, that was the last nail in the coffin.
Okay.
So that specifically, in my opinion, I'm not saying this is the truth, but this is my opinion of why shit died the first time.
Okay.
Because it was just too soon to open up a flag store in Oslo, expensive, and there was a lot of hate in the skateboarding scene towards shit. The best part is people would say, shit skateboards are so bad that the wood is really shit. It's shit skateboards. But the fun part is there's so few factories in the world that actually make skateboards, and most of the brands get their boards from the same factory, just different shapes.
Okay.
And girl boards, one of my favorites because of my curl, that was my second board. Girl skateboards at the time made their boards at the same place Shit Skateboards was making. So we had the same fucking wood, girl and shit.
Oh.
I was in Oslo and one of the cool guys skating at Rådhuset. And when I say cool guys, I mean the skaters that are so popular and cool that you can't say hello to them because they're so more worth than you. They have like their little clique and whatever. And he was like, what skateboard are you riding? And I was like, it's Shit Skateboards. Fucking, that's whack, man. So bad skateboard. And I like, so what kind of board do you have? I'm like, girl, man, that's the shit, man. That's the best boards. I'm like, I didn't say anything to him. I just wanted to let him be a dick. And I'm like, so you think the wood is better on the girl skateboards than shit? And at that time, same wood, both boards.
Same industry.
So that just basically confirmed that hate is stronger than knowledge sometimes, sadly. Because
that's true.
When the right guys in the skateboarding scene says shit is crap, then all the other kids and people around them are going to listen to their bullshit. And that's the sad part, is just jealousy, because shit was really building up. It is, to this day, Shit Skateboard Company is the biggest skateboarding brand from Norway, in Norway, that has ever existed. When they published a book about skateboarding in Norway from start till now, this is a couple of years ago, not one word was mentioned of shit in the history of skateboarding in Norway because of the hate and the jealousy within the scene. And the only reason shit was mentioned in that book is because I have an interview in that book. And I would, of course, talk about shit skateboarding in the book.
Oh.
So that's so fucking sad. So the money, opening a shop in Oslo, the extreme hatred towards shit because of jealousy, petty, and just horrible shit people, actually. That was like what made shit struggle.
Okay.
And Frode would work fucking, I remember seeing him burn out because he was working constantly trying to please everybody. That includes me, being spoiled and demanding to get more boards or tour or whatever. And I didn't know all the shit that he had to work with.
Okay.
Spoiled shit kid, basically. I didn't think about anybody else than myself. It ended when it was supposed to end, and it had its time of rest. And now that it's resurrected, it's so strange for me to see how positive the response is. And the cool thing to see kids nowadays being a fan of shit, especially the ones that didn't experience shit in the first part, but also seeing some of the asshole haters now thinking that shit is cool. So
Okay.
that's pretty cool.
Important.
And I no pun intended, I don't give a shit what other people think about shit, because their opinion doesn't matter at all if they hate shit. But the good thing is, the more shit they talk about shit, the more promotion and the more marketing shit gets. And that's my tool in everything I do since day one.
Now,
Hate.
so that is your advice to deal with the hate in general?
Yeah.
No, fuck. So what is if we can make a synthesis, what is your advice to deal with the hating?
The best way to deal with it is to realize this. The people that talk shit about you and are assholes, do they pay your bills? Are they important to you in your life? Do they contribute with anything constructive or positive to your everyday and whatever you are doing? No. So, one, let them hate as much as they want. Even better, give them a reason to hate you. And the best reason and way of making them hate you even more is not responding to the hate. Do not give them a second of your attention, because the second you allow yourself to comment back on something that from the get-go has no positive or good reason to do, then you have already lost, because they want your attention. They want to be heard. So letting them speak out their hatred is a good thing, because it's better to be talked about than ignored. Like if I have a fucking art exhibition, I would rather have, if 100 people meet to my art exhibition and 99 people hate it, I would rather have them hate it than be like, whatever. I would rather have them hate like, this is fucking disgusting, this is shit, this is horrible, you can't even fucking draw, look at that shit. I would rather have that reaction than them being like this. And I wonder what I'm gonna watch when I get home on TV. Like I want a response. That's better. So when you get hate or negative comments, even if you're a brand or if you're a person, that only means that you're doing something right. Because haters are lazy people that have no intention of bettering themselves or their surroundings, and they feed off negative energy. They feed off bringing other people down to their shit level. That's what haters do. So
true,
if you give them just a finger, they will bite off your fucking arm. So it's so important to know that these people and their opinions don't mean shit. But it's better to have their hatred in order to just build yourself to become bigger.
Yes, that's true. Haters make us stronger.
hell yeah. And haters can be quite entertaining as well. And I will brag, and I'm still proud of this to this day. The photos that I talked about that Frode took of me when I was 17, we took those photos and some others we worked on. They were published as a photo series on, at the time, skateboarding Norwegian website called tacky.no.
Okay.
And that was like Thrasher in Norway.
Okay.
But online. And if you had an interview there, every skater in Norway or even Europe would see that.
All right.
So that was like the channel for skateboarding scene in Norway. So it was a big deal to be posted there. So when I had my first photo series, like basically my introduction to the Norwegian skateboarding scene was that photo series.
Okay.
Portrait me being with my colored lenses, like contact lenses, and my long hair and my crazy outfits and leopard and rock and roll and shock effects, and then skating with like jumping off roofs and grinding big ledges, stuff like that. Never, they told me this, the people behind Tacky, that they had never gotten this much hate comments ever.
Oh.
They had
Okay.
never experienced so much negative reactions from a photo. And people were saying the most evil, weird, strange shit. Like, oh, he's so fucking ugly, he can't even skate, fucking, he looks like a fucking blah, blah, blah. It was so much weird shit. But there was one skater out there who said, he skates so fucking ugly, he looks like a crow when he skates. And me and Frode, we played around with that because that was do you know Brandon Lee, the movie Crow?
Yes.
Yeah, it's like a famous like a cult movie for goths and people that are interested in some dark shit. Brandon Lee got shot and killed for real in that movie, and that scene is in the movie, which is quite disturbing. It's when he's walking on a table and they shoot him and he fall down, but
Okay.
the blanks at the movie, and he actually got shot and died in that scene in the movie.
He died. All right.
For real in the
For
movie.
real.
Yeah, but the movie itself is like one of my favorite movies. And crows are cool, like they're a horror movie and black metal reference. So for me to be called a crow on my skateboard was a compliment. He didn't realize, actually gave me a compliment, because I did hate my style from before. I was very self-aware because I didn't skate like smooth or anything. I skated like fucking wiggling, and it looks like I'm dying because I'm just barely holding on when I land a trick, because I'm more interested in landing the trick than of how it looks. I don't care if it looks ugly as long as I land it.
You just gotta do the trick.
Yeah,
Last
fuck
trick.
it. Land the trick and move forward.
That's it. You made it.
But when the dude said that I look like a crow when I skate, even though his intention was to hurt my feelings, little did he know that he actually made me, for the first time in my life, love my skating. I actually started appreciating my style and thinking, I have a pretty cool style actually. And me and Frode joked around about the theme of me skating like a crow, and he said, because he was not a stranger to the hate comments with shit and everything, and he said it would be really funny to make a skateboard with your face on a crow as a image, and make like t-shirts with you as a crow and stickers with you as a crow, just like fuck you, and have fun with it. And here's the cool thing, we made the skateboard, it's white with me as a black crow with small me crows in the back.
Okay.
And it's like from my first skateboard, the leopard one, when I'm playing like the rock and roll guitar with the skateboard, and that face was just put on a crow. And we made white t-shirts and pink t-shirts, because I've always been like called a fag or a cocksucker and stuff like that because of my feminine stuff. And so it was the pink collection was like a fuck you to the gay haters. And we also made the black and red stripe hoodie, which I still have.
You have it? All these three models?
Yeah.
This
like,
moment? All right.
Yeah. We released this board, and that I had some other boards before that, but this was the best selling board of all the boards that we had at the time. That was the #1 hit sale of the collection. So it's pretty funny to know that a dude fucking troll sitting there trying to be an asshole against me, trying to make my day worse, actually helped my skateboarding career and made me the best logo ever. So hate can be good if you use it for inspiration instead of taking it underneath the skin and letting it like make you sad.
That's fucking true. It's about perspective. It's about taking it and in a way enjoying it. That's nice. That's nice.
It makes me so happy to this day to know that I have pissed off so many people. Like, it sounds weird, but I'm really happy that I have in some way made a dent in the world with my expression and my skateboarding, because I would rather be the weirdo guy that somebody hated so much that they would go around and talk about me like a fucking faggot, a fucking weirdo, I hate that guy. I'm so happy that me feeling as fucking worthless as I did at the time actually had an impact on people in any way, even if it's negative. It's not negative for me. It's I want, as an artist, I look upon myself from day one as an artist. And when I say artist, it's skateboarding, drawing, painting, music is all just different tools that I use to make art.
Express yourself, all right.
So it's so important to me to know that when I die, that I leave some of my art to live on. And now with the internet and with when I release books or skateboards or anything, I just like knowing that I actually left a part of me in this world.
For sure, you are leaving a legacy as well.
Hell yeah.
And you are being the difference. You are not like the other guys, and you know that. So that's nice. So this kind of bad comments make you feel more yourself.
Yeah.
That's right.
And the best about realizing, especially at the time when every skater looked the same, everybody had like square t-shirt, skateboarding, baggy pants or strips, bubble shoes and short hair. Like every skater looked the same. So you can, of course, I knew that when I came to a contest wearing fucking latex pants, long black hair, I painted my teeth black, and I had like white eyes, and I had all these fucking cuts bleeding when I was skating. I knew, of course, that people would react to like, who the fuck is this guy? Okay. And I used that as, since Marilyn Manson, which is one of my heroes since I was in 5th grade when I started listening to metal. So metal music was more important to me for my development and survival than skateboarding was. Music was there way before skating. But I always had I wanted to be like a rock star, Marilyn Manson. But the music world already had Marilyn Manson. But skateboarding didn't have Marilyn Manson. So I became because I knew that I wasn't as good as the other guys. I had to find a way of how can I contribute to shit or to skateboarding in general with my skating. How can I make a difference?
A difference, yeah.
So I used my shock value, my rock and roll, my shows, as I call them, when I was skating contests, as my way of entertaining and contributing something to the skateboarding world.
And to be the difference, yeah.
Yeah, and I loved it. I used more time figuring out what to wear at the skate contest rather than practicing my fucking lines or tricks. Always the most important part was, how do I look during my skating? And of course, always one trick that was always in my runs was find the highest thing to jump down from. That was the only, and I would always save that. And I was really good at doing it, so I would always do it, like commit first try. And Frode gave me the best advice that I still use to this day, even when, like, 2 weeks ago, I did a Mentzoni skate party at Utsira, Norway's smallest commune, by the way. Only 200 people live on an island in the middle of the ocean.
Oh, okay.
Paradise on a and I will take you there one day.
Okay.
And I'm the first one to make a skateboarding video on my YouTube channel. Is in the skateboarding list. From Utsira. I'm the first one to ever make a skateboarding video from Utsira.
Oh,
anyway,
nice.
Frode gave me an advice that I still use to this day when I do skateboarding events, shows, or like skate classes. Because we were skating in Hamar at the skate contest. They had a big fucking bank that was used more as a launch. You get enough speed to jump off this big kicker. So nobody did tricks on it. Like if you did a kickflip on that to fake it, it was really good because it was so steep.
Okay, like
so
a wall.
Speed.
Straight wall.
Yeah. And on top of it was like this fucking wobbly, sketchy fence.
Okay.
Because it was straight down on the other side, down to these houses. And if you fell down there, we're talking about a couple of meters. Yeah, you would hurt yourself, definitely. Not die, but you would fucking...
Bye-bye.
Smack.
Maybe. Okay.
So I was gonna drop from that as the last trick. If I slammed, then I wouldn't be able to skate. So I would do that last, of course.
Okay.
And from a previous contest, when I did something similar, I jumped from the same kind of thing, like a fence down into a bank or a quarter pipe. And Frode said to me, when you do that, because he knew I was going to jump because I was looking at it, and he told me, when you do your contest, don't make it first try. I'm like, what? What the fuck are you talking about? But I can do it. Yeah, I know you can do it. And the thing is, if you pretend that you don't make it the first time you try it, then the suspense from the audience will be bigger.
Yes, that's true.
So he learned the trick of entertainment. So I would pretend 2 times that I was dropping and I would kick the board away because I was so scared. Or the second time I would fail because I almost fell back. And people would be like, oh shit. And you would build up the like third. And then I did slam though one time, not on purpose. I had like the hardogram from him, like Bam Margera, on my key.
Okay.
That was the last time I skated with accessories, because I slammed on my thigh with the hardogram on the side, so it printed a hardogram into my thigh.
Okay.
And then I went back up, and a dude had to hold like the fence because it was so wobbly. And then I made the drop. Everybody freaked out because I tried it. And then here's the best part. I was getting sponsored by a European shoe brand called Psychum Shoes. And it was a really fast decision. I had been skating for Vans for 5 years. Vans Norway, not Europe.
Okay.
But Vans Norway only gave you like free shoes and stuff. That's it. They didn't have like team demos, team trips, nothing. And I tried to get something to happen, but they never did. So I quit and started skating for Psychum because they were going to do that tour part. Because I want to travel when I'm sponsored. I don't want to just get free shit. That means nothing to me. I can buy it myself then instead. But to celebrate my new sponsor and do it in the Mentzoni way, of course in a funny or a weird way, I took off my Van shoes after I did the drop. This was planned, by the way. I planned with a friend in the audience that I land a drop, I circle around like in the middle of the park, I take off my Van shoes, and I take out a cigar, and a friend of mine comes with like gasoline, and I pour gasoline on the shoes, I light my cigar, and then I put fire. I set my Van shoes on fire, so the flames staying in the middle of the park. I didn't ask for permission or anything because I knew they would say no. Okay. The Van shoes are burning, and I'm just smoking my cigar, and I'm walking off the course and waving, and I just.
That's nice, man. That's rad.
So people thought I hated Vans because of that, but it was just like a way of closing my sponsor. I love Vans. I buy Vans, just Vans, because I love it so much. But after that contest, I still have photos from that day. There was a line as far as the eye can see from the end of the skate park to the little tent we were hanging out at. And I was signing autographs to all these kids. And I fucking got like last place or something at that contest. But the guy who won the contest, which is a friend of mine and really good skater, he was just hanging out by the park, maybe signing 2 or 3 autographs. And he won the fucking contest. And that's when I realized, to me, it is not important at all to be do good in a contest. For me, it's more important to give the people a show
performance.
And that really like, okay, I'm gonna keep doing this, and that's what I'm still doing.
That's nice, man. I love that. Yeah, you are like the expression of what means being unique and special. We need to make a difference. If we are not making a difference, why are we playing at? And I agree with you. Let's make the difference. So,
and as a sponsored skater, it's your responsibility to contribute. Like that's what I if you're a sponsored skater, you have a responsibility to be like, for the sponsor, if they want you to be a dick, then that's one thing. But when you're out skating in the park and you're sponsored and you're wearing a fucking sponsor's shirt, if you go up to a kid and punch him in the face, I can promise you that kid will hate that brand forever, just because you were the guy representing that brand. And that I always had that in mind when I was skating. But in the start, I did not have that in mind, because I was like, again, the self-harm was still in the picture.
Yes.
And in Hamar, I was getting a contest and I didn't land any tricks, and I got so mad because I didn't land anything. And I broke the board first halfway with my feet, and then I took the board and I smashed it on my head like several times till I started bleeding.
Okay.
Yeah. And then I broke the board in two, and without thinking about other people's safety, I took the skateboard by the trucks and I threw the boards out in the audience, like, just fuck everyone. I didn't care, because I was having like a meltdown, a blackout. And then Frode was standing on the side, like, that was one of the first contests I did with shit as a sponsor.
Okay.
And people were like, so that guy over there, is that who you sponsor? And Frode is like, yeah, that's my team rider right there. So that's when he talked to me afterwards, the reaction, like the responsibility you have if you're sponsored, like what you do out there on the course goes
for the brand.
So if you're being an asshole or just a dick, then that goes out on the brand. But I didn't think about it because I was like just thinking about me. That's the truth. So, but I learned how to that you are constantly representing your sponsor. But again, I wouldn't stupid example of, if I was gay and I was skating for a brand and they didn't and they didn't like people that were gay, then I would never skate for them, because they have to accept me for who I am. So if you are a difficult person to deal with, the sponsor also has to keep that in mind, that that's a part of that person's personality.
For sure.
So it's a fine balance though. Like you have to find a sponsor or a brand that kind of lets you be who you are, but at the same time
we have to be responsible with that.
Yeah,
it's like the balance. So Martin, one last question. Very nice and interesting conversation that we are having right now. But one last question and one last advice that one from your knowledge and your wisdom. So what would be your advice to enjoy what we do, to have fun with what we do, and don't feel frustrated? For example, the last week I did a 360 flip down 5 stairs, but it took like an hour. And then I don't feel like joy. I just feel like Naya Houston is doing a 360 flip in 20 stairs, like in first try. And I'm feeling frustrated because it took me an hour. So I feel that I'm not the best.
The thing is, that 1 hour you used to land that one trick down those 5 stairs.
Yes.
That just proves how much you love skateboarding. It's like a relationship. If you're together with somebody, you don't love them all the time. Sometimes they do shit that piss you off. Yeah. And that's also a big important part of this relationship that you are having with your skateboard. It's not just happy times on a skateboard, but in order for those good times, like when the day comes and you do a 360 flip down a 10 stair, then that's happening because you had that 1 hour struggling with that 5 stair. So even though you don't feel like the I know exactly what you feel though. Like you've been trying a trick for so long that when you finally land it, you're so exhausted and angry that the anger is stronger than the feeling of landing the trick. And when you're walking away home after, I remember this feeling a lot of times because you're so exhausted. You're like, you don't really care that you landed it. You just crossed it off your list and went on. But I think those kind of moments are the ones that make those times when you land a trick and you're so fucking happy. They all build up against that. And it's better that you used an hour trying a trick like you did rather than just wasting it on not doing it. So it's all stones to achieve that good feeling in skateboarding. And I took 4 like picnic tables over a gap, like a mellow grass gap. All and right. I tried tail slide, tuk, 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 and then off.
Okay.
One of my first like really long tail slides, and I used 7 hours landing. 7 hours.
Just in one session?
One trick over and over because I had it, and then I lost it, got frustrated, and I had a friend filming me for a while, but then he just got so fed up and he just set the camera down and walked. And when he put the camera down in a shitty angle and just walked, because he got so mad at me because I didn't care about him at all. I was so focused on the trick.
Yes.
And I landed a trick and I was happy and everything, but I realized that I was being a dick to my friend for not thanking him for bothering to film me. I was taking that for granted. So that taught me a lesson, because he told me, like, no, not him. One of my other friends told me that because of that and how I acted, I almost lost him as a friend because I was being so selfish.
Okay.
So the moral behind this story is, if you're going to try a trick and you want somebody to film it, make damn sure that you at least have it pretty much on lock before you want them to film a trick that you have never done. And so frustration and everything is just a part of the deal. And that's, again, what makes skateboarding so fucking amazing, fascinating, and
not for everyone.
Yeah, I like that people quit because they just couldn't handle it. Because that just proves that skateboarding is not for everyone.
For sure, man.
Everyone is welcome, but only the real dedicated ones remain. So if you go out skating with people, it's so cool to know that everybody that I'm skating with, all the girls and dudes that I'm skating with, we are here for the same reason. We love skateboarding so much, even though it gives us so much grief and anger and frustration. We still pursue skateboarding. We still go out and skate, and we still try that fucking trick that is driving us mental, because we want that feeling so bad that we are willing to go through excruciating pain and stress to get that. And that's why skateboarding to me is so much more special than all other kind of like sports and shit, even though skateboarding is not a sport. Because nobody is forcing you to stand, nobody forced you to try that fucking 360 flip down those fucking 5-stair, but yourself. And that's why it's so fascinating to watch skaters skate and deal with their demons, because nobody is forcing you to do it. You could just say, okay, I'm going home, fuck this, but you're not.
Yes.
And I have ADHD. I get really easily distracted, and I have an ugly tendency to, if you give me, like today, the podcast interview, best example, I postpone things. I wait until the last moment, and I have a really short focus span. Like if somebody was doing something here now, oh, what's that? Oh.
Okay.
But when I skate, I go in the zone. I'm totally there. Everything that me off in life, like struggle with bills, girlfriends, work, just having to get up sometimes, even if you don't want to. All that is disappears when I skate. All the troubles, everything that makes me sad. And even if I'm thinking about the stuff that makes me sad when I'm skating, I'm still not hurting as much as I would if I didn't skate. And even a shitty day on the skateboard, like you didn't land anything, you were not one with your board, and you wanted to break your board. You were so fucking pissed. When I get home that day and take a shower and I sit down at night, I'm so happy I went out and had a shitty session rather than not having a shitty session. And this is stuff you realize when you hurt, when you can't skate. You would rather have a bad session than no session. And you got to hang out with your friends. That's the main, like, I can't skate alone anymore. I could do it earlier when I was like practicing and trying to get better. But the only goal I ever had, as I mentioned 5 hours ago, in skateboarding was this. I want to learn 10 tricks, and I want to practice them that I can do them fast and on as many elements as possible, like rails, curbs, whatever. I just want to skate fast and do long grinds and slides. That's the only goal I've ever had with skating. I don't care if it's technical, or I don't have time for the technical shit because it goes too slow. So and I don't have the patience to learn the tech tricks. Like the most technical trick I've ever done in a grind slide thing is Smith grind and kickflip out. I haven't done any ages though, but I want to learn them when the winter season comes back, because then I practice stuff like that.
And you not get in this moment Smith kickflip out.
If I haven't done it skating in a flat bar, so when I skate now, next week I'm gonna try it just for you to see if I still have it.
Please.
Yeah, and I love manis, like crazy ass mani combos.
With kickflip out also.
Yeah, the best thing I've ever done. One of my favorites is these two. It's like fakey big flip, two mani, and then kickflip out. That's like one.
That's nice. And
but
in video? In video?
What?
Did you have
yeah.
All right.
Yeah. One of my favorite mani combos ever. Now you have to focus because this is kind of a lot. It's in Stavanger at Klepp. Really cool skate park by Betongpark.
All right.
It's like a big mani pad, like really big with elements on top of it and on the sides and everything. But it's like this. This is the only thing I have to focus on. This is the mani pad, and in the middle of the mani pad, there's a curb with a mani pad as well.
Okay.
So it's a mani pad on a mani pad, and in the of the mani thing, it's like a gap, like this or something, and then it's a circle, so you can gap to the circle. Okay, are you ready? This is a mind fucker.
Yeah, I picture the spot.
So I run fakey big flip, two mani.
Yeah.
And I pop up to nose mani.
To the other mano pad, right?
And then I drop down to mani, yeah. And then pop up the gap to nose mani.
Wow.
And then I quickly nollie shove it to mani, and then 180 out.
What a combo. A video game combo, man.
That was fucking insane. And I did that, I remember the year, 2014, because that was my first Mentzoni skate party Norway tour.
Okay.
And after that fucking mani combo, I don't think my friend even filmed it because I had to use some time on it. I might have it on film, I will check. But before we left the park, I just learned to do nose grinds on rails. So I wanted to do a really long nose grind on a rail, but I was so tired. So I did the end and it felt so good. So I'm like, I want to do the entire rail. And then I slammed like a motherfucker. So that was the last from that tour. Like my shoes and blood all over the place because I smacked really bad.
Okay, but was a very rewarding trick to do.
Yeah. So frustration wise, to answer your question in a really shitty way, like it's good to be frustrated. It just means that you love it. And not feel that joy when you stress with a trick for many hours. You just have to know that those hours that you stressed with a trick, they're always well spent, even though they don't feel good, because you are trying, even though it didn't give you anything right there and then, you are still trying earnestly to put as much good shit into your skateboarding as possible. Because just trying to be better or trying to land a trick, that is reason enough to be proud of yourself.
Yeah, the fact is that sometimes I compare myself with other skaters that can't do that trick with just one try, and that's the problem when I feel frustrated. But
and that's the moment, because when I do skate classes with kids, and you see a kid who wants to learn just to ollie, and you see that he's just been skating for a couple of days, so for him it's impossible to do it, and that's when you have to take a step back and realize, holy shit, I learned how to ollie. Because when you learn that ollie, you learn another trick, and then you forget the struggle you had with the most basic stuff that you take for granted today. So you compare yourself to this guy, and you are here, and when you're skating with that kid, he's this guy when you think about learning curve. So it's important to know that you are looking up to this guy wanting to be as good, and this kid is looking up to you wanting to be as good as you. So we're all in the same circle. Yeah. I'm pretty sure skaters out there who thinks, I'm the best skater in the world, because somebody else is doing shit that even Nigel Houston somehow feels that he can't do. Probably more about style. He can't do it a certain style. Every skater hates something about themselves and their skating, and that's just a healthy thing to have, because it pushes you to be better.
Yeah, man, that's true. And this is skateboarding, and this is also life, no?
Yeah.
Works and like that.
Just like life, skateboarding sucks sometimes as well.
Nice words. All right, Martin, thank you for this conversation. I feel empowered right now to go skate, and to very nice advices that you are giving to me and to the skateboarding community. So thank you for your words, thank you for your wisdom, and thank you for accepting the invitation of being here with us in the Shit Podcast.
Hell yeah, it was about fucking time you invited me.
For sure, man. And I hope that you can do that Smith grind kickflip out just for me. All right.
Done with my quarantine, and I have to add, it's a voluntarily quarantine. I don't have corona. I just went to Oslo to do an art job at the big wall. I will send you the photo afterwards. My biggest work ever, commission work. So I haven't slept. Now I've slept for 10 hours, but before that, I hadn't slept for 67 hours.
Oh my God.
Non-stop for over 50 hours.
Dude, just drawing.
On a big wall, 4.5 point 2.5 meters.
Okay.
So yeah, and it was in Oslo, which is the biggest in pandemic in Norway right now. So I for my mom and my friends' sake, I just quarantined myself.
All right.
And self-checked. So if you have any signs of corona, just get yourself checked.
Okay, man. Thank you for that.
And then with my Smith grind kickflip.
Please, please do it.
And remember, you have to send me your address so I can send you this.
Please, all right. For
Mentzoni Magazine, Volume 15.
Thank you for that, man. I'm gonna talk to you in Instagram.
And just so you know what you're looking forward to, that's a nice photo of me covered in blood in a coffin.
And that's a picture. It's not an illustration. All right.
That's because it looks like this, but the forward is always like this.
Okay.
And on Friday, because this is going to be on YouTube too, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Saturday.
Yeah.
Saturday.
So, this Saturday?
Yes.
Perfect, because you know why?
On Saturday, what is going to happen?
Friday the 13th, which is tomorrow when you're watching this.
Yes.
I will release my second music video from Svart Kaffe,
which
is my... And it's called... It's perfect, because it's called GDS, and it means Gjør det selv, which means DIY, do it yourself.
Okay.
It's perfect theme wise because it's a song about it's so important to do what you want, but do it yourself. Don't wait for anybody else to do it.
All
So,
right. That's
music
nice.
video out on Friday on my YouTube channel, and you can put that in the fucking link below.
Yes, for sure, man. I will do it and I will check what you are making right now. Thank you, man. I hope that you have a nice break right now. And yeah, good luck with your projects and with your cause and with your thoughts, with everything, man. Thank you for this
Thanks.
conversation.
I'm gonna be reading this now when you hang up. I just, I love comics, as you can see, but I just got this comic.
Oh my God.
It's
That's
7
huge, dude.
pages.
Very huge. Like a treasure.
Oh my god,
That's
and
nice.
it's so difficult to read.
Okay, man. Okay, good luck with that. I hope
Thanks.
you have a nice day.
Write to me on Instagram, your address and everything, and I will send it as soon as possible.
Look, love it, man. Thank you for that.
Thank
Good
you,
vibes
man.
for you. Have a nice day.
You too. Ciao.
Bye.